here. So, like in the chat box, anybody here love expired listings and for sale by owners? Like, go ahead and type it in there, right? Like, how many of you guys are fired up every single morning? Like, yes, I want to get my ass kicked every single day, over and over again, huh? You sick people. I see people clapping and stuff like that. I don't see anybody typing in the chat box right now. That's what I don't see. Well, Jeff is deranged anyways, and he's one of our panelists and stuff for today. Right. Yeah, Cynthia, I'm with you. Like, I did it. Does it work? 100%. Right. But there's a lot of things that we need to talk about, like if you want to capture that business, why you want to capture that business. And even though I've invited a few people on here that I know do expireds, there's some of you guys that may do expireds that I didn't know or didn't like. This is a mastermind, right? So if anybody has something that they can add to the conversation and stuff, I want to make sure that you guys are contributing and asking about that as well. But here's the thing, guys, right? We are in a spot right now where agents' business in 2021, 2022 was their best years ever. The common trend right now is that business is down. And this is where we have to do things, just like Bay was saying, that other people don't want to do. That is where the gems are, right? Like, that is where we're mining for gold. Like, is it sexy? Is it this? Is it that? No. Does it work? It really does, as far as building a business. So when we start talking about like expired listings, right? We have expired sellers that have tried to sell. They have raised their hand and now they are frustrated and they are open to better strategies, right? Like, that is the key, right? There is some built-in motivation that, these for sale by owners already want to sell. They have raised their hand. They just were unsuccessful. Whether it was the agent, whether it was the strategy, whether it was the pricing, we don't know that yet. But we know they were unsuccessful with their mission, right? Here's the second thing that I want you guys to realize is that the low competition. I mean, literally, if we did some math, we're talking about 1% of this group was like, yes, I do expired listings. 1% of some of the top agents in the country. It is probably the most ignored sector of the business because we don't want to cold call. So that means less competition for you if you have the right system, if you have the right confidence, the right value proposition, and the right mindset, right? And then 3 is it's a listing gold mine, right? And we're going to talk about some examples from Jeff and some of the things that he's accomplished for expired listings. But listings are leverage, and expireds convert to listings, right? And listings give you brand exposure, sign calls, open house traffic, repeat deals. They allow you to come in and create raving fans when you can do something different and better, right? They are also pre-vetted properties, right? These homes were already on the market at this point. So you're not building from scratch, right? And the market conditions equal opportunities right now. So in a high interest or a price adjustment market, expires start to skyrocket, right? So many of them were overpriced or poorly marketed, and that's where you come into play. You can come in as this hero, as this savior, as long as you are doing something different and better than the competition and adding massive value. And I want you guys to think about this talk track that I'm on right now. This same talk track applies to no matter what funnel of business that you guys are currently doing, right? All of these things. The market is not going straight up right now. So yes, you being in the business does not mean that you are successful. We have to level up. We have to raise our standards. And our clients deserve that, right? Like if you want this business, we need to earn it at this point in time. And I see the faces and stuff on this call, and a lot of you guys do earn it. Like you guys are rock stars and stuff out there. There's a reason that you guys are doing the business that you guys are doing right now. And here's the last point that I want to talk about before I invite some of our guests and stuff here. But this is a system that you can automate prospecting. You can automate follow-up. You can nurture with a CRM, with a dialer, with a campaign, right? Like our ClickFunnels system, right? It is a system that can keep leads coming in every single day. Kelly Cummings and I were just on a phone call with an agent. He did $7.5 million in sales in Mobile, Alabama, which is a huge deal. That is a big producing agent in most markets, let alone in Mobile. But he's tired. He's exhausted, right? Because he hasn't built the systems, right, to be able to keep this up. And so he has to start fresh every single day. And that's where I want us to focus on. How do we scale this business? And guys, as this market comes through some turbulence and starts making some adjustments, this will be the opportunity for all of us to capture massive market share, create raving fans, and build the systems that all of you guys need in order to take your business and stuff to the next level. So that is kind of just some high points and some things that I wanted to talk about, because like expireds, FSBOs, etc., it doesn't have to be doom and gloom, right? Like this is like, it doesn't have to be. This can be an exciting opportunity and stuff for everybody. So with that being said, Jeff Russell, how you doing today, brother?
I am fantastic. Thanks for asking. Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday, man. How long you been in the business, Jeff Russell?
Oh man, 99. I started when I was 17.
99. Oh my gosh. I didn't know it was that long. I didn't know it was when I was graduating high school. That's crazy. And that was kind of an old joke jab, but it's cool. Man, that and so here's the thing. This is what I want to point out with Jeff. Jeff, did you start prospecting expireds and FSBOs in 1999?
No, not at all.
When did you start prospecting?
I would say, Kelly, what was it, 2 years now? Maybe?
Uh,
Yeah, right around two
yeah.
years. Because one of my
No,
first,
three.
yeah, one of my first expireds that I actually called, it was April 1st, and it fell on a sun or a weekend day. I was in the shower at 7:30 and I went, oh my God, it's expired. It's the first of the month, right? And it's a Saturday. Most agents, they're not working on a Saturday. I got out of the shower, got on the phone, I got a listing appointment. Boom, that day. So yeah, that's when I started, and then that's what really got me going.
And let me ask you, why did you shift? Like, because as people get into the business, it's very common mindset to be like, oh, I don't need to do that anymore. I'm better than that. I'm this, I'm that. Why did Jeff Russell, right after, man, over 20 years in the business, be like, this is an area that I have to tackle now?
So I'll be honest, I've sold close to 2,500 homes in my over 25 years now. And I thought, it's kind of maybe an ego thing or arrogant thing. I was like, oh, I've done my tour duty. I don't need to be calling expireds. That's for new agents, right? And I just quite frankly, when I get a caller like a salesperson or a spam, I hate those calls, right? So a lot of it was my mindset, right? So um, yeah, I just yeah, I just adapted to it.
Adapted. And part of it was, right, that business was down. Like you had went from this REO king and this funnel was flowing and stuff like that to where, man, California had dried up. Moratoriums were extended, right? Like those same opportunities weren't there. And man, I applaud Jeff almost every time for reinventing himself and not letting that, we can call it ego or mindset or whatever you want about it. He had the ability to shift and change that because he knew he wasn't hitting his goals. And I applaud that probably the most because we get in our own way more than other people, right?
Hmm.
Like these are like, we make up this story that they don't want to talk to us, right? We make up this story that they hate us. We make these up. And what does that do? It scares the hell out of us.
Yep.
Right. And we don't like to do things that we don't do that. Right. So Jeff reinvented himself into doing this. And so in the 3 years, and like, do you have a ballpark? How many listings have you taken on that side of things? And like what, or volume, or any idea like what that has transpired to?
I would say it's about one every 2 months. It's not a lot, but quite frankly, I'll be transparent. You know, my perfect daily schedule on my calendar, I'm calling from 8 to 10, and I'm following up with people from 10 to 11. So my expireds, I call the daily. I have an ISA that's calling the daily along with me, but she's also calling old leads. Every old lead in our CRM, expired, canceled. She's calling those. So I could, if I got another ISA, I could probably do more, and I should do that. My coach keeps telling me. My coach, by the way, at Club Wealth is why I started prospecting, why I started calling expireds, because they were on me forever and ever and ever, and I was just like, nope, not doing it. Nope, not doing it. And I quite honestly, Haas Pratt, I'm not sure if anybody knows who he is. He's out of
Yeah.
Texas. I there's a program that he had where it's expired cancel program, and there are 10 calls that he makes that are live, and then it comes with a transcript. And I listened to those 10 calls, and it really made me feel more comfortable after listening to those and hearing, how to handle objections. And you're going to get hung up on, but who cares? Pick up the phone and call them right back. Hey, sorry, we got disconnected, right? So and it is a numbers game, right? There are a
Yeah.
ton of sellers out there that need your help and would beg you to come meet with them. But there are a ton of people that they're not mad at you. They're mad at their phone that keeps ringing and ringing and ringing. And that's why the daily expires, you have to be ready to go at 7:57, right? And start your first call at 7:59, right? And by the way, sort your leads by the list
Hold
price.
on, hold on, hold on. I'm gonna keep you on track. I told you, like, I'm not gonna let you run away with this and
Gonna
like you
say,
to hijack
I
my
was
call. Bullshit. I asked you to introduce yourself. That was it. End of story.
oh,
Okay? You're not hijacking this.
real quick, I did put the Haas Pratt expired boot camp in the chat if anyone's interested. It is really good. But yes, Jeff can get long-winded, Larry, so keep him on
I
track.
know he's trying to hijack to steps 3, 4, and 5. I just needed an introduction. Answer the questions only right now, Jeff. And now you lost your turn. Ben Herring,
All
talk to
right,
me
all
for a
right. Well,
second.
I am a high D and a high I, and that's dangerous.
Yes, no, man, I love it. And I think you were getting into some good stuff. We're just not there yet, right? Like we're just not
Copy
there yet.
that.
There's a flow to this. Ben Herring, how are you doing, brother?
Morning, I'm good. How you?
I'm doing so great, man. Now you are just now like give everybody a little background on yourself. How long you been in real estate and stuff here?
I was originally licensed in 2007,
Originally licensed in
so not quite as much
2007.
as Jeff.
Yeah, not quite, but we're getting up there, right? Like, I came in around 2006 and stuff there, right? So, man, 20 years now. That's crazy. I felt like people that used to say they were in the market for 20 years, I was like, yeah, you're so old. I can't believe I'm the old guy. That's crazy. But how long have you been working on expired listings and stuff there?
Actually, I just kind of got into that over the last year, I guess. Probably Richard, whose name I always I mean Robert, whose last name I always mess up, Whitecelt, just on his Wednesday afternoon deals, because that's one of his deals. So that's kind of how all right, let me give it a shot, kind of a deal.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about this because you have a little interesting twist and stuff on this. So tell everybody like what's your mind? Like why did you decide to get into expireds? I know that you're running a great group, a great team and stuff there in the Atlanta metro area. Why did you decide to get into the REO side of things?
Like REO or the expired side of things?
The expired side, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Because REO, Larry White, but expired was just another opportunity, because as like this time, whatever year before last, I guess, and I was going nuts. I couldn't keep up with all the listings and so on. And then as things kind of slowed, just trying to make a pivot, much like Jeff was talking about, actually, just more, condensed, I suppose, trying to make a pivot into other avenue of business.
Yeah. And here's the important thing, guys. The market is constantly shifting. We have to constantly be shifting to where the market's going, not where it's at right now. Right? That's where we see, like, when the market is going straight up, 2020, 2006, I'm a prime example. I got into real estate because everybody was making so much money. I was like, yo, I want to make a lot of money. And the market started crashing, right? Everybody got in 2020, 21. They see this market going crazy, multiple offers. Oh, that's so great. I want to get involved with that. And then the market starts correcting, which is why like 80% of those agents won't make it 2 years. Because when the market's going up like that, you don't have a chance to build your foundation, right? You didn't build anything that was sustainable at this point in time. And this is where there's always expireds. In an up market, in a down market, there are always expireds, and this can build some consistency and stuff into it. So Ben, like, we talked about some of the fears and stuff like that. What's your mindset when you're like approaching expired listings and stuff there? And how do you avoid sounding like every other agent that's out there?
And this is not necessarily an expired only thing, but when I'm talking to folks, what I found is if there's some little nugget or some little something that they haven't thought of, or some little thing that makes you sound brilliant, then they remember that. Like, for example, talking to sellers, like everybody knows about retargeting, nobody
Yeah.
knows what it's called. You know what I mean? And so if you just, because I just started, hey, have you heard of retargeting? And I'm like, no, what's that? Like, yes, you have. Remember how you were looking for socks, and then socks ads started showing up on ESPN and your Yahoo Mail and all that kind of stuff? That's what I could do for your listing. I've yet to talk to anybody or that has had that as an offering, something they can offer. And by the
Yeah.
way, that is something within homes.com. So that's not anything I invented. But that's just one of those things that and the other thing is just, in terms of something somebody else is saying, is targeted buyers for your property. Because we all have really cool things that we can do, professional photography and video and aerial footage and all the things that we can do. But something that's easy is, all right, so you have a ranch home on 4 acres. That is probably not a hipster guy that wants to be in a skateboard community. Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
looking at their property and being able to establish an avatar specifically for that and say, hey, those are guys that like to be the privacy or grow corn or whatever people do, in a ranch on 2 acres or 4 acres in the country. And throwing that into like prop stream is another, little deal to generate buyers that fit that avatar. So being able to tell them, marketing people to your property that fit your property versus I'm going to put your home on 394,000 websites. Um,
Yeah. And I want you guys to point out, right? Because almost every listing presentation that I've seen talks about all of the different websites and stuff that it's marketed to, right? So if you're saying the same thing as everybody else, like, what makes you different? How are you going to get that result? And like, that is one of the things that's been saying here, right? He's doing something different and better than his competition, or he's explaining it better, right? And he's able to verbalize that and stuff there. So I appreciate that. And you mentioned my man, Robert Weichelt. Robert Weichelt, how are you doing over there, brother?
Man, I'm so good I can't stand myself. How are you?
I'm doing so good. I wish I couldn't stand you, but I actually love you so much. And I can't get enough of you, man. And so, Ben said, like, he got this idea of expired listings and stuff because of your Wednesday call. Like, tell me a little bit about your Wednesday call and like what do you go over on this Wednesday call?
Well, I can tell you, it's called More Listings Mastermind. Shocking. We specialize in FSBOs, expired pre-foreclosure. FSBOs, because they have their hands up, they're telling the world they're the easiest, lowest hanging fruit on the seller tree, baby. We have expireds. They've already shown their dedication to go through the 6 month, oftentimes 6 month, 3 month contract. They just didn't get told the truth in the beginning by the agent that said, "Oh, I agree with you, Mr. Seller. Let's list at a high price and come down." Bad idea. We get them 78% of the sellers list with the next agent that contacts them. We need to have an honest conversation with the seller about price. And as you know, I use a bidding platform pricing strategy that is hits it out of the park. But that's what we talk about on Wednesdays. That's the lowest hanging fruit. FSBOs, expireds, pre-foreclosure. Pre-foreclosures position you for the REO market. So there's a lot of opportunity there. So they need us. As long as
Did
you have
anybody
yes.
did anybody notice what's the difference maker with Robert, right? So we talked about retargeting for Ben. Like, did anybody catch that? Put it in a chat box, unmute your mic. What was the difference maker? Like, what does he talk to people about? This is the interactive part. The bidding platform. Bingo.
But here's the
Right?
thing. Yeah, here's the thing. Transparent bidding platform. Let me give you an example. I took a listing up in Northern California. We had multiple offers. They were very transparent. Everybody gets to see it. But the buyer could not perform. So I kept the backup buyers sticky to the transaction because you never know how things go. Because of its transparency, the buyer, the backup buyer, when I reached out to them, they knew for a fact, because they're transparent, that he needed to come in and where he needed to come in at. So there's a method to the madness, and we talk about that every Wednesday. And Kelly just put the link in the chat box. It's an amazing call. And before I forget, we have Max from Tony Robbins scheduled next Wednesday. He's fire.
Yes. And for those of you guys that missed it, we had Max on last week. We're taking over 50 of us to Tony Robbins live UPW, Miami, November, I think 4th, 5th, 6th, right around that date. It's in Palm something, Florida. It's around the Miami area and stuff there. If you guys want to go, right? The VIP tickets, which are super close, we get for $700. They're normally $1,800. And so make sure that you email me or Kelly Jones, if you have that handy, you can put that link in there too. Like she's like a little genie over there. People are talking and she's like, oh, here's that link and stuff there. If you have that, that would be great.
Yeah,
right
I'll put it in the chat.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Now I want to get around, like, because I know you're talk track and I'm going to come around to each of you guys and stuff here. But Robert, what is like your go-to script, right? Somebody's like, all right, I'm going to start calling these expired listings. I can pull them up on my MLS, yada, yada, yada. Like, what is your go-to script?
I'm very simple. I'm a no nonsense guy. I don't like to play games, and I want to make sure that they know that right up front. It's very simple. Larry, is your home still available? I know that everyone says, "Oh, that's stupid." Guess what? I only want one question answered. Is it available? Meaning, are you communicating about your home being for sale? Number one. If it is, then I go to the next thing. If I was to bring you an offer at a price that was acceptable, that's a rhetorical question, so we're clear. If I was to bring you an offer at a price that was acceptable to you, are you willing to offer a X amount of compensation? I always ask for 3. That's me. I don't fix pricing, but that's my script. And oftentimes I'll get back, no, I'm not willing to pay 3, but I'm willing to pay 2. Fantastic. When can we schedule a quick Zoom call to go over your property in more detail? Oh, I don't want to do Zoom. Just send me an offer. I would love to send you an offer, but I need a little more details about your home first. When's the best time? I have some time today at 5, or is 5:30 better for you? I have my calendar link up. Boom. I take the calendar. I get it ready. It takes me about 15, 20 minutes to prepare. I do a Zoom listing presentation. It's handled, answer their questions, send them the contract, and we rinse and repeat.
Woo-wee. That's hot, man. That's hot. Now, tell me this. How many listing appointments have you went to their house in the last 2 years, sir?
Well, that would have been a little difficult since Carla and I were traveling the country in our RV for 2 years. I just couldn't see turning back to San Diego to take a listing appointment that may or may not work out. So the answer, Larry, since March of 2020, zero in-home listing appointments. There's no need for it. I actually get sellers thanking me for the efficiency after the appointment. They just didn't realize, they thought the old way of having somebody come in your home. I'm not bagging on agents that do that, but it's not the most efficient, effective way for me. I like to
Yeah.
use the technology in front of me. I want to leverage my time. I want to take 5 listing appointments in a day, and it's very difficult to drive back and forth, especially on 405, 91, the 5. There's a lot of traffic out there.
Yeah. And,
Just
and
be efficient.
Robert, since 2020, how many expired FSBO listings do you think you've taken, my friend?
You know what? I was looking at those numbers. We've taken a boatload. We're taking anywhere between 3 and 5 listing appointments per week, 2 to 3 listings a week. And now because I was traveling, I went into more of a mentorship mode. So I'm helping agents all over the country do that. So I would say the last 2 years, we've had probably just about 50 in the last, about averaging about 24 a year. It's just getting the momentum of helping these agents take more listings. That's what I've dedicated my last 2 years to do, is helping agents take more listings. So it's a process that is certainly starting to bloom right now.
Beautiful. I love that, man. And here's the thing, like every one of these guys have a little bit different way that they attack for sale by owners. And right, there's no right or wrong way. You have to figure out if this is something that fits into your business plan and how you want to do it. Right? Robert's way might not be the right way because Jeff, what is your go-to script, my friend?
My go-to script is when I call, I don't say, well, I basically say, are you the owner of 123 Park Avenue? Right? Because I want to know if I'm speaking to the right person first, because there's a lot of phone numbers and a lot of times it's a relative or it's just somebody that's not even related. So, and then when they answer that question, I see your home was taken off the market, unsold. Is there a reason why you pulled it off the market? And then they'll depends on how many calls they've got. If it's right at 8 a.m., the call goes really well normally, right? Because I'm the first person to call. And the idea too is to keep them on the phone for about 7 minutes, right? Because when the other people are calling, you don't want them to pick that up. But
Ooh, yo, did you guys hear that pro tip? Oh my, you're a gangster over there, Jeff Russell. Keep going, brother.
Yeah, and as I was going to start saying before when I got cut off, when I look at Mojo, I'm if you can unlock the thing, when I look at that, I sort it by price, right? Because they send them to you and they're just all random all over the place, right? Who you've got like the first on expireds from the last night, you have basically about 5 to 7 minutes to get a hold of people to make appointments. Once that 7 minutes has gone by, or 10 especially, good luck getting them to answer, right? So I sort them by price, and I'm calling the most expensive ones first, right? Because I want the ones that are going to make me the most money, right? I'm
Yeah.
strategically lazy. So the rest of the call basically is, I'll ask them a little bit about the house, but really I just get right into it. I say, hey, if I am confident, right, and I am confident that I could get your home sold for you. And if I can come by, are you opposed? Most people don't like to be opposed. Are you opposed to me coming being in the area on Wednesday and Thursday at 2 or 5, right? Give them two alternate choices. Don't try and set up an appointment without just giving them two so they can just make a simple choice. And then, I get the appointment and I go in and take the listing normally. If I get the appointment, I would say, well, if I get the appointment, I call that the at bat. The more at bats you have, the more listings you're going to have, right? And some people are going to be a 50% success rate, right? Getting a contract signed. Some people, if you're really good, you'll be at like 80. That's a pretty good. I'm somewhere right around 75%.
Hey, Jeff,
75%.
if you don't track and measure your numbers, you're not going to know your batting average, are you?
That's right. I know.
That is so important. You got to track and measure. And you know what? Who's heard of Reggie Jackson? Everybody
Yeah.
knows Reggie Jackson is Mr. October, hits home runs, just a stud at hitting home runs. But the stat that most people don't know, he also has the most strikeouts in Major League history.
Good point.
That's a number that we need to understand. You got to go out and take your hacks. You're going to strike out. Hall of Fame is 300. That's a good day. So track and measure your numbers is key.
Yeah, great
And
point.
nobody's going to care or even know about how many people said no or rejected, but they are going to see that your success as you start building your business and stuff there, right? Just like Reggie Jackson. Like very little people know that he was also the strikeout king along with the home run king at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Like they want the fame, they want the glory and stuff like that. So that is beautiful. And before I run over to Ben, like Jeff, if somebody wanted to get into this, what tools, systems are you using? Like, what is like the laundry list? Like, okay, I want to start calling expireds and FSBOs. What do I need?
Yeah, first you're going to need the leads to come in daily. And by the way, when I say daily, like I was using Land Voice and they were coming in at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. Too late, way too late, right? As I said, that whole 7 to 10 minutes. So I don't use Land Voice anymore. I use Mojo. I also use Mojo because it has a three-line dialer, right? So I can get through, I have 57 leads to call today. I can get through those 57 leads in like 20 minutes. And talking to probably I would say 5 to 7 of those, right? About 10%. So that's where I get my leads. That's what I use to dial. I use that along with Follow Up Boss, my CRM of choice personally, and it works really really well.
I love it, man. I love it. Ben Herring, can we chat for a sec? Because I know that you got into it because you were on Robert Weikel's call. We started with some scripts and stuff like that, but like you're using some different tools and systems. What are you using to reach out to these for sale by owners at this point in time?
I actually have an AI bot that calls expireds with drones and that kind of thing. And, Robert, I'm sure wants to fuss at me right now, but um, where my head was like, all right, I can never dump enough phone numbers in there to make these calls. And I guess, I was trying to ramp up more quickly. So now the people that I talk to have already at least been talked to a bit by an AI bot. And, that script is, hey, very similar actually to the two guys that just talked about, like, hey, I saw that the property came off the market recently. Are you still interested in selling if you got a good number type of deal? I mean, that's basically what the bot goes into. And so when I'm talking to folks, they've at least been, I guess, warmed up, I suppose.
Kind
And
of pre-qualified a little bit, right? And so does that AI bot automatically transfer them to you? Like, does it hold or does it say that you'll call them back? What does that look like? Because this whole AI thing is foreign. It's not foreign, it's just new, right? Like everybody is learning this as we go. At this point in time, there's a lot of question like, oh, can it? Like, because a lot of people get annoyed when they have spam or they think a bot's on the phone. So like what has been your success and how does that transition work?
there's kind of like two things that happen. First, they'll actually set an appointment. Like my calendar is set in there and they'll set a time, can we speak tomorrow afternoon or whatever, and then it'll just book it a time on my on my calendar. The other one is if they don't do that, I'll get an email that just says lead interested. And that somebody at least had a little bit of a conversation. Maybe they hung up on the bot, maybe, I don't know, but at least there was an initial conversation. So those are folks that I will call back, just kind of put them in my sequence, my CRM, whatever, to call those folks back. So, and I think there is an option where you can do the transfer call thing. I haven't tried that, frankly, but in my head, it's like, all right, I don't want to be unavailable. You know what I mean? So if, hey, let me transfer you to someone live, and then I'm talking to somebody else, and like, dude, what? So I just haven't tried it, but I think it is an option.
Okay, I like it, man. And again, all three of these guys, right? We have one person that only does Zoom, right? We have one person that goes to every listing appointment in person, and we have one that's using AI to convert, right? And again, I think outside of the box here, guys. There is no right or wrong answer. But when you do the right shit every single day, you're going to get lucky, right? Where Jeff, what's been your biggest expired listing that you've taken?
Well, the one that I took with our friend Sean Long, who's on the call, we took a $6 million, four separate brand new single family residences from an expired call. And by the way, I did not even make that call. I didn't even set that appointment. My ISA, who is calling right now as we speak, she calls every day, made that appointment. She teed it up. I showed up. I was a little hard to understand them. They're from China, and I thought, you know what, my buddy Sean Long can help me communicate. So 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing. So I pulled Sean in. We had a another meeting. By the way, I had some inside information. I'll tell you, and if you know iList, I went on iList and I saw this guy went on my website and spent like 12 minutes on my website looking at my bio, my team, and all that. I'm like, I got you now, right? So, and he doesn't know that I mean, I could see his mouse as he's reading my bio, right? It was great. So, anyway, yeah, so basically they're about 1.5 million each of the condos is what they are, brand new. So Sean and I actually inked that on I want to say Tuesday of this week.
Congratulations. And 50% of $6 million is a hell of a lot of business. There's some
Well,
agents that would love to do $3 million in production on a yearly basis. So congratulations and stuff
yeah,
on that.
yeah,
Uh,
that's well over $100,000. So if you break that down, right? Like I call th about 2 hours a day, right? So break that down into the hourly rate, what I'm making per hour. I mean, it's insane. So anybody that says they don't want to pick up the phone and call expireds, I mean, it doesn't take that much time daily. I mean, how many expireds are daily, right? I mean, it's a great revenue stream, and these people want to sell, as Robert said. They've already demonstrated they're ready to go, right? They're ready to
yeah.
sell. So why not sell it for them? Because someone's going to sell it for them. And hopefully not that past agent.
That is beautiful. Congratulations on that, man. Been hearing. I know that this has been a recent venture with this bot. You should connect with Katrina Wynn, who's a rock star there in Atlanta. She wants to know like what bot you're using, and we don't have time for that here today. But give me an idea. You've just you've been doing this now, like you started training this bot and stuff for what, 2 months now?
Um, yeah, I guess it's all right.
How many appointments and leads have you generated from this bot reaching out and calling at this point in time?
Darn it, I have my analytics up here, and there were it's like 12 this month.
12 this month, right?
Um,
Like 12 leads and opportunities. And he's not even making the originating calls, guys, right? Like, again, think outside of the box. No, I don't like it. I don't want rejection. Cool. Like, there's bots that can take rejection a hell of a lot better than us. I'm not saying that's the right or wrong path for you. I'm just saying it doesn't have to look the way that you think it does. It doesn't have to be doom and gloom. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a bad thing, right? Like you come into it, it can be as beautiful, it can be sunshines and unicorn. As Jeff said, like I used to play a game, right? When people would hang up on me, because I have this fragile male ego over here. They'd be like, yeah, you get on the phone. And then I call them back and I'd be like, oh my gosh, we got disconnected. I'm so sorry. And so you were saying, right? Like I would make it into a game because that's the only way that I could deal with it, right? On the end of it. But here's the thing. I know that we are starting to run short on time. Kelly Jones, real quick, go for it.
No, just someone had a question regarding how they get contact information, and I just didn't know if Jeff or anyone wanted to chime in. I just want to make sure that was answered live because that's helpful for everyone.
I can put a link in the
Con-
chat if you like.
Yeah, why don't all of you guys kind of put your contact information in there because we're going to go through one last question for everybody. This is going to be the lightning round and stuff here. Let me pick the question that we're going to go to.
Can't believe it's almost been an hour already.
All right. So, Robert Weichelt, right? If you were somebody that was going to start prospecting, cold calling, they've never done it before, they're scared to get death, they've heard all of these other horror stories. Where do they start? What is the first thing that people have to do if they are not doing the amount of business that they want to do right now? And so they're willing to do anything right now, right? Where do they start, my friend?
Well, the first thing I would do is I jump on my more listings training we do every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific. We role play, we go over scripts. You got to have some internalization. You got to have the confidence because there's nothing worse than calling a FSBO and stumbling on your words and not understanding what you're doing. So build the confidence. You need to role play. You need to internalize your scripts. I put a link in the chat. FSBOs expireds pre-foreclosures. You can get it for free for 14 days. Try that out. Have a conversation. You're not selling, you're telling. You're having a conversation like Jeff was talking about. Just have a conversation. Most agents quit because they're told no and they feel like they're trying to sell. So don't. Have a conversation. You know you have the best product, convey that. So I would role play and study scripts, Larry.
Guys, you got to build the strength in the muscle.
Yeah.
Right? Like, again, if you start calling FSBOs and expireds and they're the first person you've ever talked to, it's going to sound shaky. It's going to sound this. The more you hear it, the more you can relay it, right? And so that's where you go to script and role play practice. So that way you can build that muscle and stuff there. So, Robert, I appreciate you, man, and all the agents that you're helping and stuff get into this business. And Robert does, like, Robert will partner with you, right? If you have somebody that's interested, like, get Robert on the line. He will partner with you. He doesn't go to the house anyways, right? Like, so location is irrelevant, but he can help you close on those deals and stuff like that.
I put the link in the chat, Larry.
I appreciate that, sir. Jeff Russell, what's the biggest lesson you have learned from expired listings and stuff that you could share with everybody? Oh, yeah, gotta unmute. That's the biggest lesson I'm learning right now.
That's not the same question you gave Robert, is it?
No, it's different.
Okay. All right, say it again because I was all ready to answer that one. What's the question again? Sorry.
What is the biggest lesson that you've learned from expired FSBOs from prospecting that has helped you in all aspects of your business?
My biggest lesson is just pick up the phone and start doing it, right? Pick up the phone and start doing it. Practice, right? Like athletes, the reason why the MVPs are so good at what they do is because they train. They do it over and over and over again. You've just got to, train yourself and be diligent. I wanted to share this, so I'm glad you asked me that question. So my perfect daily schedule is right here, right? This is what my schedule like. It's not, as I hear Larry say, it's not sexy, right? It's I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, I work out, I walk the dog, shower, club health huddle. It's everything in capital letters is an appointment with myself. But you see the green, that's dollar producing activities. That's my prospecting in the morning, right? That's my follow-up, fortunes in the follow-up, right? So just biggest lesson is really being determined, being consistent, and doing it what it takes every day. Robert says it works if you do. It really does. You just got to be consistent and don't give up. I'm having Kelly put in objection slayers. It's 11 a.m. on Thursdays. It's an hour. Go on there and listen to Jackie. She's the one that runs the call. She's amazing. Like I've learned so much from her objection handling, right? It's you just gotta practice and you will it'll become fun. Like I said, I don't like making calls. I just don't like making calls, right? I really don't. But it's fun now. So it's a challenge. I like a challenge and they challenge me and it really works. So just and again, start at 7:59 when you're calling them, right? That is where you're going to get the most traction. Weekends, you're going to get the most traction on the weekends, and a holiday weekend, money.
Money time. I love it. And last but definitely not least, Ben Herring, right? Let's talk to you. Like, how would you rebuild your expired system from scratch if you had to do it tomorrow?
Oh wow. But well, going back to Robert, I hate to just kind of like punting back to him, but that's how I got into it to begin with, just jumping on that Wednesday afternoon deal, and I think using everything you have available, whether it's people, the Jeff, the Roberts, the Haas, those guys, or
Yeah.
available technologies and whatnot. Because like right now, for example, the AI thing, literally, I don't do anything until it's time for me to talk to somebody because I use My Plus Leads. That dumps straight into the CRM. That automatically makes the calls and then they pop into my calendar. So, just using the tools that are available, again, whether that's people being in the right room with the right folks, whether it's technology, those kind of things, just making sure that, and I guess that goes back to anything. If you're starting
Yeah.
anything from scratch, don't start anything from scratch. Start it with people you already know and resources and tools that are available.
R&D,
Guys,
rip off and duplicate.
all of these guys put their contact information in the system. Like, reach out to them, right? Like, this is an agent helping agent community here. And this is how we operate all aspects and stuff of our life. So hopefully you guys see that, like, expireds could be your sleeping giant. You can either fear them or you can farm them. There's two options. And agents winning in 2025 had a system, not just a script. And if you stack that with investor buyers, distress pipelines, the land and ranch game, or anything else, we're talking about multiple streams of income, right, from one conversation. And that's what this call is about, right? There's no right, there's no wrong. Figure out if this is one of your streams, right? When I coach and train agents, it's 3 to 4 pillars of business. It's not just one. It's not like, oh, I'm an REO agent, like, because that, like, man, you've been starving the last couple of years. We have to diversify. We have to constantly have all of these streams coming in and build systems around them. Wash, rinse, repeat over and over and over again. What do you got, Jeff?
One last thing I forgot. Mojo, the three-line dialer, that is something that's helped me tremendously because once I hit start, those 57 leads, it just starts dialing, right? It doesn't stop. I don't have time in between to look for creative avoidance, right? So
Yeah.
Mojo is a big part of my success because it starts going and you don't have a choice. It's just dialing.
Beautiful. All right, guys. Well, we do have just a couple of minutes. Anybody that has a burning question that they have to get answered right this second, before we shut things down for the day. Going once, going twice. Man, well, I appreciate you guys. This was fire. Like, the content and the fact that all of you guys have such different business models going after expireds, like, just put perfectly. It's like somebody planned this way. And I thank you guys so much. I think all of you guys are absolutely crushing it. Reach out to them, guys, if this is something that you need help with, that you want to partner with, etc. I love you guys. I thank you guys. If you guys need anything from me, call, text, or email me. And next week, we will have, let me see who's going to be on the calendar for next week. We have Paul Frank coming on next week, who is a master in the commercial space, teaching how every residential agent should be tapped into commercial and how to do that without having all of the experience, because this guy has never sold one residential sale in his entire life. So he will talk about collaborations, way that you can tap in, way that you can take advantage of it. You're not going to want to miss that. He will also be with us down in Cabo for those of you that are going to the mastermind in Cabo in March. There is the link as well. I will drop it one more time for anybody that's interested in going with us to Tony Robbins. It's absolutely life-changing. We get tickets for over $1,000, for about $1,000 off. It's changed my life back in 2014 and everybody else's life that has went with me since. We will have over 50 people there. Would love for you to join us. Jeff just dropped the chat there if you want to go to the mastermind down in Cabo. I appreciate you guys all so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Happy Friday.
Bye, everyone.